Today we're going to talk about some evil stuff. So I hope you stay with me. I'm going to give you a little story that's a true story that I've never told before in the public. I have lots of them, these real life experiences. I've had an interesting life, been a lot of places, met a lot of people. Now this one is about satanic stuff. There's lots of different ways to call them that. I don't know whether it's some unified organization. Actually, I should say it is not a unified organization, but I can tell you that I do identify it as a unified field of experience. It's connected somehow on a collective consciousness level or collective subconscious, which is often not thought of when people talk collective. Now, all of this I want you to take in comparison to another study that I'm doing on another guy who's been appearing all over YouTube, all over the web lately. Relatively new. So this will be part of my conspiracy theories series, where I expose people for their nonsense and their lies, and just their whole false ideas they're putting out there, so that they can confuse you. I really want to bring you some real information, because if you choose to focus on me, then it can sometimes help clear your thinking and your sense of reality. I know this sounds strange, because I'm always doing something eccentric, or I've always got my hands in various topics and activities, but I have a very clear approach toward all this complicated time that we live in, and I bring you truth, or what I perceive as truth, and I cut through all the nonsense and the fluff. It takes time, but now let me get back to the conspiracy theories debunking series. I'm not going to mention the person's name. Maybe by the end of the video I might toss it out there. If I'm not sure if I should do that yet, or just wait to do the entire vlog next week or whatever. But this person is very intriguing. They're putting out valid information, so my sensors are feeling into it and saying, yeah, that's true. But then there's this other stuff, like major red flags that make me suspect it. And this person's relatively new. They're just coming out of nowhere. Like in a year, or not even 2 years. So we've got to be careful, because in these end times, there's a lot of people that are just popping up, and they have a job to do, and it's to confuse as many people as possible. Now, I've been on here already about 8 years, and I've been on the web putting out information. I did a movie script, but it's not about, I'm not about justifying anything. If you really needed to question that, there's plenty of information, plenty of people that I know, plenty of people, things that I've done, and you can sort that out with yourself later. Here's the story. Let's get right to it. I was hanging out in a big city, and I met this girl who was a sort of friend with someone that had been friends with me for a while. Now this friend of mine also was kind of a close friend, but I always had my reservations about this friend. Like, there's something about my friend that I mean, do you have relationships like that where you have a friend and you're kind of on this false basis because there's something about them that you really disagree with, but you can't tell them because you feel like it would probably ruin the whole friendship if it came out to the open? This is what was going on with me and this person. So their friends or someone that they associated with in, let's say, creative circles. They were doing creative projects. Okay, like artsy, but also not just art, but commercially oriented. It was definitely like, like let's do something, let's make it, be lucrative. So I got to hanging out with this person on the side because we're all hanging out, and we were crashing out too in the apartment. We're also going out to restaurants and here and there. So it was late at night, and we got to talking, and she says, and look, let me get this idea about her. She's a little bit off, like she doesn't really look off, but she'll dress kind of conservative, but then at the same time she's got like these costumes which are like kind of like Halloween costumey kind of things, like, and when she puts them on or when she chooses to be in drag or whatever, like maybe goth or one of these kind of styles, like vampires and stuff. I mean, so are you getting the picture more now? See, I should have told you that sooner. So, she can switch into that mode, but when she's going around, she's not always dressed up in this the genre. So we're just sitting on the couch, and it's like a double couch in the corner, so L shape, So I had been there, and she was gonna stay, and I mean, look, always with a woman, there's a little bit of sexual tension, and I had been dumped by my wife, so reason why I had like a lot of free time, and this had happened because I was out there trying to unwind, and I didn't really have any designs on this girl. I'm not like that. I don't just plop into somebody's like life like a one-night stand. But there we were, and I was going to keep it platonic. But I said, there is sexual tension, so it's like, and I don't know what she's about. But I'm trying to like keep it real, and I don't want to do nothing, and I certainly don't want her making any moves because I'm like more, they call it traditional, or they call it like, I'm very masculine. I don't like a woman getting up on me, like, like deciding. I'll make that decision, and if you want to be receptive as a woman, that's how I really like it. It's not, look, it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes women are like that time of the month or the hormones, and they're aggressive. But anyhow, look, we were talking, and everybody's gone, and it's kind of late. And she's telling me about like her background or something, and she's freaky. There's something, and I'm just listening. I listen to people. I could meet a mass murderer, a serial killer, and I'll listen. And I won't judge in front of them. Because I'll just take it all in and I'll analyze it in my whole cosmology, and that takes a while. but I'll listen. Like on a mental level, I will listen. And sometimes I think that's what a person needs to heal, if that's possible. So she's telling me how, I think she's sexually abused at some point, and her father thinks it's okay to have sex with her, and so we're talking incest now, we're talking rape, we're talking emotional abuse, we're talking, I think she said some things about her mother, but that wasn't like the real active part of it. Oh no, wait a second. The mother was separated. She was, at that point of her life, she was living with her father. But then there was stuff about childhood. I won't go into all the details. But then she talks about what she likes, and she has a real serious fantasy about babies. She wants to maim them. The only thing that she likes to do with the baby, she will get somebody else's babies and torture them and flail them and dismember them. So she's telling me this, and she's okay with it. She thinks that this is the thing to do. So I'm like, it's getting late and I want to go to sleep. And now I'm a little bit sketchy, because we're in a separate part of the apartment, and I don't know how quickly I can get out if something happens, and I don't have no bulletproof sheet. So I'm thinking, how do I get out of this one? So I'm just like, okay, all right. So what do you think about human babies, really? She likes to, kill them and eat their body parts. And she's for real. I'm looking in her eyes. I'm like, you can look into my eyes right now? Do I look like Anderson Cooper to you? You know how I do that? But if you look into my eyes, it conveys something. It conveys the real soul. So I'm looking into her eyes, and she's not lying. She's telling me really what she thinks and feels. So then, I get out of this situation, and I gather more information on her, because apparently, the time that I spent around her, she's not really a threat to an adult, especially a male adult male. But I have children. Here's the thing. Thank God that I didn't have many children around her, hanging around with me at that time. I'm so glad that I didn't have her eyeballing my kids and then telling me about that, because it would be a completely different story to tell you, and maybe not too happy. But she never encountered my kids. I didn't go into my kids. I didn't hear that fantasy of hers and then tell her, oh, that's nice, I have children, I raise them, I don't eat them. I want to raise them to adulthood, and I want to be friends with them. I'm normal. No, I don't have sex with them. If they're naked and I've got to change them, they've got to wash, I've got to train them in these things like normal human hygiene. I don't do anything sexual. I didn't get into that with her, because this was a tough case. And now hold on a second. I call it a fantasy. no, she wasn't saying it like it was a fantasy. She's saying it like she does that. It's been done. I don't know how many times or when, what condition or who was involved, but from what I gather, her family, or at least her father and other people, something's going on there. Something satanic, something devil worshipping, something violent, something destructive, something with murders. And, you know, children disappear, so here's the answer to that riddle. You know, where did they go? I know. And, you know, this has stuck with me. As I said, I've got a lot of stories. I've encountered a lot of people. Like the human pageant has been revealed to me because I'm so open and I find out these things. Now, I don't choose to hang out with her. I didn't try to keep in touch with her after that because, like I said, that's a hard case. This is deep. This is a conspiracy. It's not just some fruitcake like going. Well, actually, no. There's no such thing as a lone gunman. It's a patsy. They'll set up somebody all the time. This is people working in concert together. She didn't get like this on her own. She was born into it. There is a whole network. Okay, when I found her, it was just the tip of the iceberg. And I know where they are. And they blend into society. I don't know when they do these things, but they do them when you're not seeing them, like especially at nighttime, the witching hour, and especially around Halloween, and there's other times of the year. Folks, I'm not trying to scare you. You know, I'm not one of these people. If I tell you I'm doing a serious video and I got on this talk and you can hear it in my voice. Sometimes I'll do a comedy video, or I'll do like freaky artistic stuff. You've seen those videos. There's a major difference. You can recognize it. I don't blur that line like other people do. Like stupid people that want to confuse you, they'll do that. You'll watch it's like, ooh, you know, I'm not going to name any channels, but I have associated with them before. There's lots of different people, but my position on this is not to confuse you. When I'm telling you something serious, I'm not telling you to try to scare you. I'm telling you because it exists in the world. And in fact, I have so many subscribers and viewers that some of you watching this, that's you. That's your life. And you're probably thinking, oh, he's saying this, he's on to us. And some of you satanic people, you talk about it with people like me. So it's not like I didn't pry you open. You tell me. And I'm just saying, like, I don't do that, and I don't think it's right. And I don't want anyone else to think it's right, and I don't want the satanic people to think it's all right. It's twisted, it's wrong, it's demonic. So let me give the list here on this person that I hung out with on various occasions, various nights, especially this time where I really was keyed in to what she's all about. Raped and abused as a child. She's into all this like strange necrophiliac stuff, like gothic and you know, vampires and demons, werewolves. That her imagination is blown out of proportion. She would tell me all this stuff, and you know, really damaged that way. Something going on with her mother. I don't know whether her mother tried to break away from the cult or something, but her father had major control on her. Incest type of rape. That's a specific, like, harsh form of it. That's extreme. And next, child sacrifice, baby sacrifice, experience in it, and thinking it's all right. It's what we want. It's the best of the best. So there's the list, folks. It's real. And now I want to tell you why I'm revealing this right now, because I've been seeing this other guy talk about stuff, and he's from another area that's only 100 or 100, well, probably, is it 200 miles? Less than 200 miles away from where this girl was raised. And this other guy, he's like an older generation of it, but he's talking about the same things. And I'm going to do a video on him next. He broke out of the cult, he's exposing it, he's talking about a whole bunch of stuff, and he says that there's 1 out of 10 people in America that are doing this, that are involved in this demonic, satanic, devil-worshipping cult. He says 1 out of 10. That means when you meet 10 people all across America, 1 of them is like this person that I just described. Now, I don't know. That's what he says. I'm not telling you that that's the statistic that I came up with. But this rabbit hole goes real deep, folks. Thanks for listening. Make your comments. Share this with all your friends. Make them aware. The shit is getting weird out there. Things are coming out now in the end times. Share this with all your friends. Favorite it. Thumbs up. And make sure you're subscribed.